A quartet of amateur space travelers became the first all-civilian crew launched into Earth's orbit on Wednesday evening, 15th of September 2021. The flight, with no professional astronauts accompanying SpaceX paying customers, is expected to last about 3 days from liftoff to splashdown in the Atlantic. This marks the debut flight of SpaceX owner Elon Musk's new orbital tourism business. The mission, called Inspiration4, was conceived by Isaacman mainly to raise awareness and support for one of his favorite causes, St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, a leading pediatric cancer center in Mephis, Tennessee. A SpaceX rocket ship blasted off from Florida on Wednesday, 15th of September, carrying a billionaire e-commerce executive and 3 less wealthy private citizens he chose to join him in the first all-civilian crew ever launched into Earth's orbit. The quartet of amateur astronauts, led by the American founder and chief executive of financial services firm Shift4Payments Inc, Jared Isaacman, lifted off just before sunset from the Kennedy Space Center in Cape Canaveral, and the spacecraft roared into the darkened skies. SpaceX showed Isaacman, 38, and his crewmates Sian Proctor, 51, Haley Arsenault, 29, and Chris Sembroski, 42, strapped into the pressurized cabin of their gleaming white SpaceX Crew Dragon capsule, dubbed Resilience, wearing their helmeted black and white flight suits. Thumbs up were on display as the capsule streaked upward, perched atop one of the company's reusable 2-stage Falcon 9 rockets. The Crew Dragon, fitted with a special observation dome in place of its usual docking hatch, reached orbit almost 10 minutes after the 8:03 p.m. EDT blastoff. The rocket's first stage booster, after separating from the spacecraft's top half, descended back to Earth and touched down safely on a landing platform floating in the Atlantic on a drone ship affectionately named "Just Read the Instructions." Amid cheers heard in SpaceX Mission Control Center as the spacecraft climbed to nearly 125 miles, 200 kilometers above Earth, Isaacman read a statement thanking everyone who made possible a journey right to the doorstep of an exciting and unexplored frontier where few have come before and many are about to follow. The mission is aiming for a maximum orbital altitude of 360 miles or 575 kilometers above Earth, higher than the International Space Station or Hubble Space Telescope, and the farthest any human will have flown from Earth since the end of NASA's Apollo Moon program in 1972, according to SpaceX. At that height, which the spacecraft is expected to reach later on Wednesday night, the Crew Dragon will circle the globe once every 90 minutes at a speed of some 17,000 miles per hour, or 27,360 kilometers per hour. That is roughly 22 times the speed of sound. The flight, marking the first crewed mission to orbit with no professional astronauts along for the ride, is expected to last about 3 days from launch to splashdown in the Atlantic, mission officials said. It marked the debut flight of SpaceX owner Elon Musk's new orbital tourism business and a leap ahead of competitors, likewise offering rides on rocket ships to customers willing to pay a small fortune for the exhilaration and bragging rights of spaceflight. NASA, which exercised the government-run U.S. monopoly over spaceflight, has embraced the burgeoning commercialization of rocket travel. In a Twitter message posted shortly before Wednesday's launch, the space agency said, "Inspiration4 embodies our vision for a future in which private companies can transport cargo and people to low Earth orbit. More opportunities to fly equal more opportunities for science." Those suborbital flights, lasting a matter of minutes, were short hops compared to Inspiration4's spaceflight profile. SpaceX already ranks as the most well-established player in the burgeoning constellation of commercial rocket ventures, having launched numerous cargo payloads and astronauts to the International Space Station for NASA. 2 of its Dragon capsules are docked there already. The Inspiration4 crew has no part to play in flying the spacecraft, which is operated by ground-based flight teams and onboard guidance systems, even though 2 crew members are licensed pilots. Rounding out the crew, are Chief Medical Officer Arsenault, a bone cancer survivor turned St. Jude physician assistant, and mission specialist Sembroski, a U.S. Air Force veteran and aerospace data engineer. The 4 crewmates have spent 5 months in rigorous preparations, including altitude fitness, centrifuge, microgravity, and simulator training, emergency drills, classroom work, and medical exams. Inspiration4 officials have said the mission is more than a joyride. While in orbit, the crew will perform a series of medical experiments with potential applications for human health on Earth and during future space flights, the group said in media materials. Biomedical data and biological samples, including ultrasound scans, will also be collected from crew members before, during, and after the flight. Arsenault was tasked with overseeing the onboard medical experiments. She also made history as the youngest American launched into space and the youngest among just over 550 humans to reach Earth's orbit so far, according to SpaceX. Incidentally, the 4 amateur astronauts are not the very first space tourists. However, this is the first long-term mission exclusively devoted to space tourism. More are planned. Commercial space company Axiom plans to bring 4 tourists to the International Space Station early next year. The mission is therefore not technically innovative. SpaceX works with vehicles that have long demonstrated their capabilities. Rocket Falcon 9 has already completed nearly 70 launches, and the spaceship used, the Crew Dragon, has also provided its worth as a shuttle vehicle for professional astronauts. Only new, the part of the Dragon that normally docks with the ISS will be replaced for this mission by a glass dome that should offer passengers spectacular views of our planet. Earlier this year, billionaires Jeff Bezos, Blue Origin, and Richard Branson, Virgin Galactic, took a space jump. With today's milestone, billionaire Elon Musk is the first to launch an entire civilian crew into space. While the space missions of billionaires Jeff Bezos and Richard Branson received a lot of praise for the results, they also received a lot of criticism for their apparently useless pleasure flights to space. Elon Musk is trying to publicize his mission more carefully. For example, unlike Bezos and Branson, Musk does not board Inspiration4 himself. Instead, the flight was paid for by another billionaire, Jared Isaacman. However, unlike Bezos and Branson, Isaacman is a pilot with flight experience in military fighter jets. With a sense of historical perspective, the 4-person crew was departed on Wednesday from the famous launchpad 39A in Florida, where other SpaceX flights and various Apollo and Space Shuttle missions have already started their cosmic journeys. After the trip, the ship plunges safely into the Atlantic Ocean. Also, the quartet of amateur space travelers have played the lead role in their own Netflix series and embark on a 3-day trip to space with company SpaceX. In doing so, the company literally takes commercial space travel to a new level. That's it for now. We keep you up to date, and we see you at space.